Welcome back to the Game Junkies podcast, everyone. The podcast which brings you all the latest gaming news, releases, and content. I'm your host, Chris, and I'm here with my co-host, Jack.
Alright, guys. How's it going?
How's your week been, Jack?
Same old, really.
Going through the motions.
Pretty much. So dull. I'm just stuck in the house, just chilling, just vibing. Not much to it, really. How about you? What have you been up to?
Pretty much the same.
Brilliant.
Work, rinse and repeat, pretty much.
We must be the most exciting people.
Oh, it sounds fun, right?
Not really, no, not at all.
So we got a bit of news to cover today. Okay, we got some. I think it's quite exciting this week. Personally.
Yeah, there's a few bits of news are quite
definitely
exciting. So why don't I kick us off?
Yeah.
Right, well, so following the delay of Crysis Remastered's release date and trailer premiere due to mixed reactions to leaked footage, Crytek has announced that Crysis Remastered for Switch will still be released on July 23rd of this year. The news was revealed on Twitter by the official Crysis account, which said, "Dear fans, you may have seen our last update about the Crysis Remastered release, and we have good news for you. We can confirm that Crysis will still be coming to Nintendo Switch on July 23rd. There's still no word on release date for PlayStation 4, Xbox One or PC. The trailer and release date announcement were both supposed to happen on July 1st. But Crytek made the decision to delay the remaster of the 2000 original to get Crysis Remastered up to the PC and console breaking standard you've come to expect from Crysis games." I don't know if you watched the supposed remastered trailer. I don't know what your thoughts are of that.
I didn't think it was anything new. I thought it was a rehashed version of the old one. I know obviously like a remaster isn't meant to be, like it's not like a remake where they change the gameplay and everything drastically, but no. They should definitely change the graphics. It just looks like they've sort of ported it over to current gen.
I saw it and I was thinking, where's the upgrade?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't even know what to say. I mean, I've seen it. We don't know if it's true. I'm guessing it is because they wouldn't. There wouldn't
be so much fuss over this if it wasn't
and
true.
They wouldn't be like, we're gonna take some time to work on it because the leak's not true though. So just ignore that.
Just ignore that one, but we're still working on it.
Yeah, I feel like it's true, but it's kind of a shame because
it was a shame. Yeah, I was really hyped to hear that there's gonna be a remaster of the original game because the original game broke so many standards for the expectation for graphics.
Oh yeah, like if your PC could run, Crysis on,
you had top tier.
You had top of the range. Yeah, you had top of the range PC.
Yeah.
Like there's no sugarcoating it. But yeah, I feel like with a like I said, with a remaster, you kind of have to upgrade the graphics. Like you see it with, for example, all the Halo games when they did the anniversaries for each of the games. You can clearly see a difference. It's not like they just ported, the original games over to the current gen, which kind of like this is what this looks
essentially
like.
Essentially what it was,
Yeah, they've just ported it over from PC and just put it onto consoles and Nintendo, and I'm disappointed by it. But now hopefully they've sort of gone, oh, actually the fans don't like this, so they're gonna work more on it.
Yeah. I think disappointed was the word. It was just a shame because I was expecting such good graphics. I was expecting to be blown away by the remaster.
Yeah.
So now these days it will be the same as it was. Like you need the top tier PC to run this. Yeah. So I'm hoping they'll work on it. What's your thoughts on the game being released on Switch?
Not surprised.
No?
Every game is coming to Switch now. Name a game.
But it's only Switch.
Oh, it's only Switch.
Only Switch so far. There's no confirmation for any other console releases.
They wouldn't do it just for Switch. There's no way. It's coming to the other consoles now. There's no way they wouldn't remaster that and then just put it on Switch. I mean, it'd be pretty cool because it'd be like a sort of Switch exclusive. But they won't do that. I don't believe they do that.
Well, so far there aren't any. There's no confirmation that it's going to release on any other platform yet.
Yeah, I'm
curious how it handle on Switch as well.
Oh, I mean, you'd be surprised now. I mean, like I was playing Borderlands, for example, the other day on Switch, and that plays really well. Like it plays really well. Like most games are mobile now as well, so they put most
That's
of the
true.
games on mobile. It's like it's crazy
Yeah.
how they can can handle it.
Well, you got the success of Call of Duty Mobile. That's still
Exactly.
thriving.
Yeah.
I have no idea how you could work that, to be honest.
That would be hard work. Yeah, you'd have to have a pretty big phone. Like
Well, you can have like a controller adaptation. You can like place the phone on like a controller, and then you can cheat that way. I think.
You could do that, but I mean, I'm not like I would be extremely surprised if it does release just for Switch. I would be extremely surprised. I don't think they would do that, especially putting all the money and effort into it. Because I imagine they're going to put a bit of money into it now as well.
Oh, they have to make it worthwhile, to get it up to the standard of next gen. They need to put the effort in.
Yeah, so I guess we just wait and see now. I mean, I'm sure they will. I think they just probably haven't released it, or I mean, they didn't actually officially release any, actual footage. Now you got to remember. So
no, that's true.
What we saw was just it could have just been a Nintendo Switch trailer for it, or something like that. So I mean, it's very unlikely. I imagine they would release it for consoles.
I figure it would be very strange if it was just Switch. I think it would be hilarious if they only just went for Switch and just ignored every other platform.
I mean, but I think it would limit them money-wise. I don't think they do that.
Not at all.
But it'd be pretty cool. I don't think I would buy it on Switch, but I think it's
I think I would wait.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like it's something that is pretty cool on Switch, but it's just a novelty for me. That's right.
It's a novelty.
Switch games. Yeah, like I find like they're pretty, they're pretty cool. Like, but I'd rather play a game like that on full screen and on the PlayStation.
Yeah, but you can
Xbox.
With the Switch you can adapt it to the full screen.
Yeah, I guess true.
I can see what you mean though with Switch. I find it's like a little. It's like I'm collecting. It feels like a little collection when I'm getting games on the Switch. I don't know
exactly. But I mean, I'm looking forward to see what they're going to do with it now. Hopefully, they will.
Well, July 23rd is the supposed date it's going to release on Switch.
What, release?
That's what it says. Release.
Oh, wow.
So I have no idea.
It's like 2 weeks away.
Unless I'm completely wrong, they have 2 weeks to really up the graphics.
Oh, now that's got to be impossible.
Well, if that's the case, and if it's too much, they might delay the game even further. A couple months down the line. But I'm hoping that they'll make a change. But 2 weeks is cutting it close, I imagine.
Yeah, that is very close. And I mean, interesting. I'm gonna look forward to it. I'll see what they.
Yeah, I'm waiting. I'm not gonna buy it straight away. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait for reviews.
I don't think we've heard anything from Crytek, who developed the Crysis games, for ages, have we? I think the last game they did was Crysis 3. Yeah. So they've been quiet for ages.
When did that release? Crysis 3.
Oh,
when did that come out?
I remember playing it on Xbox 360. So
I swear it was like. I thought it was like 2013 or something, wasn't it?
Must have been something like that. But I remember playing it on Xbox 360, so it must have been 2013.
Yeah, well, the Xbox One came out. I think it was 2013 the Xbox came out, so it might be before then, I'm not sure.
But I'm hyped for it. I loved the first game. I remember playing it on my PC because my PC was amazing.
Yeah, you could
run it.
I
struggled, but...
but it was manageable.
But it was manageable. But I remember it just felt... I don't know, compared to the other two games, I felt it's definitely my favourite one. And I feel like it's majority of the internet and gamers.
Okay. I preferred Crysis 2. I don't know. I really enjoyed Crysis 2.
You felt. I don't know. I feel like your suit was more of a thing in the first one. You could pick people up and go extra strong and bulletproof, and just how you could change your suit to how you want to play was so good. Like.
I suppose. It's more customization, I suppose.
Yeah, and it was just amazing. I loved it. I thought it was amazing. So I'm looking forward to it.
Okay. Well, that's Crysis done. Chris, what have you got?
I'm kind of excited about this, but a little bit. So, Assassin's Creed Valhalla gameplay leaked. So, I mean, if you want to go in blind with this, I'd probably skip this bit if you don't want to. If you want to sort of have details. No spoilers, because it's leaked and it's true. The gameplay is true. Yeah. So this week, the newest addition to the Assassin's Creed roster has been leaked before Ubisoft wanted it to be shown. Marked with a clear work in progress tag, the footage shows a player using the female version of the lead character, Eivor.
Yeah, that sounds
Is
about
that
right. That sounds like
I'm gonna say.
like a Viking name.
So there was a lot in the gameplay. There was a lot that was included. I
Yeah.
mean, there's a few things I'm just gonna list down and I'll sort of
Yeah,
analyze it. But there was open world exploration, obviously
Of course.
standard. Raven sight, which essentially is all the eagle vision from the last games, where you could look for clues and wealth and secrets. So it was basically eagle vision.
Okay.
Longboat gameplay, castle siege, which is pretty cool. I'm going to go into each one of these things in depth in a minute.
Sure. Yeah.
A boss battle at the end in a choice to either execute or spare the victim.
Okay.
The game skill menu, which has been growing since Origins.
So it's more
we've done really
complex
well
than.
with that. Oh yeah, definitely. A look at the inventory menu.
Okay.
And did you say a non-regenerating health bar? Now that makes sense, actually. That makes sense. I'm reading it myself. I'm like going through it myself.
Oh,
So
wow.
I'm like, a vision of Odyssey's ability, the Spartan kick. Now that's really specific. So, have you watched the gameplay first of all? Have you?
I watched snippets before it was taken down, so I didn't have all of the. Didn't
'Cause
see
I know
everything that you
Ubisoft-
listed there.
Yeah, I know Ubisoft are working or worked really hard on taking that down, and I think
Yeah.
I think it's really unfair and so sad that they're doing their Ubisoft Forward tonight, I believe, actually Sunday.
Oh yeah, that's right. Of course they are.
They're doing their Ubisoft Forward tonight, and I feel so sorry for all the guys that worked on that game, and it got leaked like a week before they were because they're gonna reveal it tonight, And I feel so sorry for them because they worked so hard, and these developers
There
worked
was
so
such a
hard just
build-up, and for it just to be released a few
to
days
be
prior.
leaked, and it's like, whoever leaked it, you're an ass.
Yeah, pretty much.
And
Isn't that quite a common? I've noticed that's been quite a common theme with the Assassin's Creed games. I swear there's been leaks every time
maybe it's
one's been
tactical.
released.
Maybe it's tactical.
Yeah,
maybe they
maybe.
go with leaking
Build up
it,
a hype.
and then they
Yeah.
But if it's if it is a genuine leak, like someone's just stolen it and just leaked it on it, I think it's a shame for everyone
It is a
doing the
shame.
build up. I don't think it's gonna lose any hype for it.
Oh no,
You
no.
know, I do-
In fact, I'm a bit more hyped because I want them to
See it
explain it.
properly.
I want to see it properly in the better
Yeah,
graphics.
like a
Maybe they'll show
developer.
more gameplay.
Yeah. But in terms of that aspect, yes, it's a shame. But I mean, you can't really do much about leaks. It's so hard to narrow them down and keep everything safe. I can imagine it's so hard to do.
Oh yeah, it must be really taxing.
But in terms of what I was the same as you. I kind of wanted to experience it from the developers, so I wanted to hear them do it.
Yeah.
So I skipped through parts of it. I didn't really look at loads, but it does look like an Assassin's Creed game. So it looks very similar to.
But also
Odyssey.
looks next gen.
It does look next gen.
Despite obviously
yeah.
the low quality
Oh,
for
definitely,
the
yeah.
leak, you could just tell this is next gen. This is proper.
Next gen, and it looks amazing. I love the whole Viking era. I think that's amazing. Like I've always liked TV shows with Vikings, films, and
Yeah.
to actually have
Well,
a
it's
game
not
that-
an era that's explored as much as it should have, I think.
No, I think there's like one or two games like Hella's Sacrifice. I think was one, but it's not. It's not like a full feature game. But
No.
there's I think everyone's wanted an Assassin's Creed Vikings game. I feel like that's been in the
Really?
talks
You
for
think
a
that's
few years now.
Has it really?
I believe it has, yeah. I don't know if it's just been like leaked and everyone's rumours on the internet, but I believe that it's been there for ages. And
Would that have been your next choice? Sorry for the word mumbling there.
I know,
Christ.
yeah. I think it would be my next choice because it's hard to know what era you want until it's given to you because there's so many things they can do with Assassin's Creed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
But like Viking stuff is I think it's going to be amazing. Even seeing snippets of this gameplay, it looks like an Assassin's Creed game. You've got all the gameplay, assassinations and everything like that, and the whole longboat gameplay where you're doing a siege on a castle. Just it looks amazing. Like imagine how good that's going to be. Because in Odyssey you had these like battles.
Okay.
So what you basically had was like these two factions, I guess, or two armies or whatever, fighting. You could sort of join into like a massive sort of war or battlefield, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I imagine they're expanding on that, and that's why they're going for
Yeah, but
how
have
you
big
can
battles
siege on them.
Yeah.
But I didn't look at too much of it because, like I said, I feel like it's going to be something we're going to talk about next week's podcast.
Yeah, I didn't actually want to spoil myself either. I saw only tiny bits. I didn't want to see all of it.
Exactly, but it, from what I've seen, it does look, like a next-gen Assassin's Creed game. It looks very good, and just where it's set, I have so much time for it because Greece was it was good setting, but I was kind of like I'm not really as fussed on that sort of era,
right?
And same with Egypt. I thought Egypt was pretty cool, but I thought the world was quite barren because obviously it's Egypt, it's deserty.
What's your opinion on Assassin's Creed taking the open world approach?
I love it personally. A lot of people hate it. It's different. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like I don't know. I just think it's what it was meant to be. Like now,
I can see that. I could see that based on like the first games. There was that vibe, wasn't there?
Yeah,
I could tell something was going to expand.
I could see it coming from Black Flag. Black Flag was massive world, and they just you could just see they wanted to go the whole, 9 yards of it. Ubisoft have always been one for massive open worlds and stuff like that, now, hasn't it, with their games? So I just think it's a bold move what they did, but I think they've done really well.
You think it was the right choice?
Oh yeah, because I think Syndicate was the last one they did before they did this whole new.
Was
one
that
in
based
London
in Britain?
with the gangs?
Yeah, that's right. That was okay.
It was, a lot of people. I wasn't personally a fan of it. It was okay, but I feel like people were just like, we're getting bored of this now. It seems like just a sort of copy and paste every time you do it.
There was a kind of middle era for Assassin's Creed games where everyone was just like, oh, it's so repetitive. It's just the same game.
Exactly, and that's when they sort of took a 2 or 3 year, space and, sort of decided that we're going to sort it out and go a whole new approach to it. And personally, I for one love it. I think it's amazing. I do think Odyssey was too big. Like there was a
lot going on, but not much
overwhelming. Yeah, no, I think
or too
it
much.
was overwhelming. Like there was millions of collectibles. It was just it was overwhelming. I thought it's just I don't know. You felt really overcome with everything to do, and it was.
So you think that would be mainly towards the obsessed open world fans?
Yeah, but they've said with this one, in sort of talks and stuff like that, they've said that this is going to be smaller than Odyssey. I don't want it, it's too small. It's an open world game.
Oh yeah, sure.
But Odyssey was overwhelming. Like you looked at the map and you think, where the hell do I start? Or you look at your quest, you're like, I don't even know where to start now, and then you just sort of went, right, I'm going to leave it.
So it wasn't obvious to know where you needed to go.
No, one thing I do want to talk about before we move on to the next one is one thing I do hope they'll actually not show, but one thing I do hope they'll put a lot of work into is the the camp you have.
The camp.
So they said you have like a sort of home base or a Vikings camp, and I kind of hope you can build it up and. That. I think it'll be really if they do it well. Because Red Dead sort of did a similar thing, but I thought
they did a waste thing.
But you couldn't really do much with your camp. I found.
No, but it didn't. No, there wasn't much change except for I think there were. If you donated more money, then you could have access to more weapons or more items. But it didn't change the look of the camp necessarily.
No. It'd be cool to Vikings coming over to. I'm not sure where they actually came over to Britain. I'm guessing that it's going to be set.
Okay.
And I think it is. I don't know, but that's what happens with Vikings. Is they come to Britain and they try and. Take over Britain basically. But if they do that, so you come over to Britain and you're starting from nothing and building, your Viking sort of, Saxons.
Do you think it would start with a tiny camp and build into like a?
I hope that you could do that.
Do you think you could build structures?
They did it in Assassin's Creed 2, if you remember. So you could go back to your castle, I believe it was, and you could purchase upgrades and that.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That. Yeah,
that's right.
That was amazing. They did so well. So I do hope it is very.
That would be incredible.
Yeah, I
would
hope
love
it's like that instead of where they just sort of go, oh well, here's your camp. You'll just upgrade it as the story goes on, and it does it.
It would be lazy. It would be a waste of potential, wouldn't it?
Exactly. But yeah, I'm looking forward to see what it shows tonight, and the Ubisoft, we talked about that a little bit. Ubisoft Forward tonight. So I guess on to the next story, which is Ubisoft related as well. How about
exactly? Yeah, Ubisoft themed. So Ubisoft has confirmed that Far Cry 6 will be shown at Sundays, which is today, a Ubisoft Forward conference. The publisher posted a video of I'm going to try and pronounce this. Giancarlo Esposito.
I'm
new
gonna
antagonist
that's
Anton
good, yeah.
Castillo,
Oh,
along with
Very.
a message seemingly referencing the leak. Anton would not be pleased. So, I mean, I'm curious what he's not pleased about. Far Cry 6 has leaked due to a PlayStation Store Hong Kong listing, confirming Giancarlo Esposito as the game's villain and providing a suggested release date of February 18th, 2021. The game will also seemingly receive a free PS4, PS5 upgrade.
I think that's standard now. I feel
It
like
is
with
standard.
games
That's
now,
something
it's
what
just
I'd expect.
standard. Yeah.
According to the description in the listing, the game's plot is staged on the island of Yara, the largest Far Cry playground to date, apparently, and a tropical paradise frozen in time. Giancarlo Esposito's character is called Anton Castillo and serves as the dictator of this island. Apparently, in the image of the released footage, there's a young man in the image below, which is his son Diego, who is following in his footsteps as he attempts to restore his nation back to its former glory. The protagonist is apparently a local Yaran called Danny Rojas, a guerrilla soldier fighting for freedom.
Interesting.
Apparently, you will employ makeshift weapons, vehicles, and amigos, the new Fangs for Hire, as it was, to burn the tyrannical regime to the ground. So I'm hyped. I'm really excited that it's going to be this actor. I think he plays some fantastic roles. Obviously, he's best known for his role as Gus Fring in Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
And he's just a terrifying, imposing character that everyone is just afraid of.
And
what's your thoughts on him?
I mean,
As the main
honestly,
villain?
he's, like I said, I've seen him in Breaking Bad, and I think I've seen him in a few things. I'm pretty sure he's in maybe one of the Star Wars films.
Oh yeah. I think he was in what's the TV show?
Rogue One.
The Mandalorian. Or something like
He was
that.
in that, was he? He's
Yeah,
definitely in one of them.
I think he's in there.
He plays a bad guy really well, doesn't he?
Yeah,
like I
he
think I've
does.
seen him in a few other things as well, and he just has that, I don't know, that fear sort of factor with him. So you look at him, you think you don't know what he's.
You don't want to mess with
capable
him.
of. Yeah, and I personally think, like, I know Vass is my personal favourite. And I feel
Vars
like
is no competition.
I think he is going to have a competition with this one. I feel
Really?
like this new character is going to put up a good fight against Vass, because I feel like with the other two, I personally didn't really like them as villains in
No.
Far Cry 5 and 4.
I didn't hate them, but they didn't stand out as much as Vars.
No.
I think it is quite a popular opinion that Far Cry 3 is probably the best Far Cry to many people, and I think the best villains are within Far Cry 3. And it's kind of been a downward spiral in terms of the villains standing out in the next games. But like you said, I feel like
He'll do really well.
I feel like this villain will stand his ground.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I feel like the only thing which is interesting about what they're sort of going with, I say interesting, they doing the dictatorship approach, which I feel like they did that in 4.
Well, we did that in 4, yeah.
Yeah.
The problem is with Far Cry, there's always been a trend of you go into this local state or little country
there's some
that's
crazy
run by
guy.
this dictator
Yeah.
that isn't apparently controlled by any of the government.
Yeah.
I guess
and
we
it's-
just don't know they exist or just too scared to fight them. That seems
I
to
know,
be the
it's
trend in
just-
Far Cry. So I'm not
Yeah.
surprised there's another dictator.
Oh no, but I feel like I preferred Far Cry 3 in terms of story, because I felt like your character had a bit more effect on the story.
I did
he
like the
talked
character,
and stuff
yeah.
like that.
Jason, I think his name, wasn't it?
Jason, yeah.
I think it was Jason.
So I kind of hope your character... It's kind of cool what they're doing, though, because they obviously want your character to feel like it's you instead of, a character, if that makes sense.
Sure.
So that's why you can customize your character and stuff like that now.
Yeah, I mean, I liked that you can customize the character in 5, but the problem is there was no character.
Yeah, exactly.
It was just
an empty shell.
Exactly. No, they didn't.
Yeah.
We didn't talk at all.
No.
Dialogue. There was no character development at all. I suppose it was trying to get that feeling of you are the character. I suppose. I personally, I didn't think they did do that too well.
No.
I would like them to talk maybe a little bit.
Yeah. So I mean,
have
I
some
don't know where,
personality.
I don't know where Island of Yara is set. Is it a made-up place or is it true? I actually don't know where
Not
that is.
sure. I am
But it
going
sounds
to...
it sounds tropical, and that's pretty cool. Again, going back to Far Cry 3, it feels like it's going back to its sort of tropical roots, and going on a little island, which is pretty cool. It's interesting that the world's the biggest to date because
Yes.
I thought 5 was huge. if
5
I'm honest with you.
was a huge map, yeah.
I wasn't personally a fan of how they sort of put the villains into sub-villains as well. If you notice, so they had
Yeah, you
three
kind of
different.
have like sub-bosses, and you like bosses of each
Yeah.
area, and then you had the main guy.
I mean, it was broke it up a little bit, but I just
So what did you like about that?
It took the, I guess it took the shine off the main villain, so you didn't really have much to do with the main. That's what I found.
That's
anyway.
true.
I feel like,
You only
I feel like
encountered
you have-
him in cutscenes.
Exactly. I feel like you didn't have much of a relationship with the villain. I know that sounds weird, but you didn't have a relationship with him. You felt like all his all these lieutenants or whatever were doing
Yeah.
his job for you, and you ended up seeing the sub villains more than you did
That's
him.
true.
I found.
That's true.
Which is a shame because the main villain should be like Vass was always there.
You always
there.
interacted with us.
Exactly, and yeah, that's what I loved about it. You have a relationship with just him, whereas with this one, you have to develop relationships with about 4 different villains, and it's hard to do, isn't it?
I think 4 had the biggest problem because they only had the one villain, and you only saw him at the beginning and end of the game, and the only way you interacted with him was through dialogue, like him talking to you through your walkie-talkie. I think.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
there weren't any other sub bosses either. So
yeah,
that was it. So that was a shame. But yeah, they handle the best of Far Cry 3. So I'm hoping they do that approach with the next game. I want more interaction with the villain.
I feel like they will because he's a big actor, and I feel like it's a lot of hype built around him being the villain now. There's a lot of talk about.
I am so
I feel
excited
like he's
for
going
him.
to be. Oh
Be
yeah,
this
he's going to
villain.
be.
It's gonna be great.
He's going to be in it, and I'm looking forward to the next Far Cry game. They're always a fun game to play. I'm never.
Yeah, I mean, how do you feel about the gameplay throughout each Far Cry?
I love them. I love them. I think they're fun open world games, aren't they? To play, you can customize your guns, and I just think they're fun, great games. It's the typical Ubisoft game in my opinion because you have
When I
outposts
think
to clear,
Ubisoft,
liberated,
that's the thing that comes to mind. I think.
open world and it's Assassin's Creed for me, but open world and liberating outposts. It's just a generic Ubisoft thing, and I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying
No, it's just
that's what
they
you come
have
to
that.
expect.
Yeah, they have that trend.
What about you? Are you excited? Do you think they should change anything about this one compared to because you like Far Cry quite a lot, so you probably
I
have
do
better
like Far Cry.
opinion than me.
Far Cry 3 is definitely my favourite. I'm not sure how they approached it in 2. I don't know what they changed exactly to make.
Can't remember
between 2 and 3, but I just liked how they approached the connection of the main protagonist and the villain. They had a lot of personality, and you could see each character grow throughout the story. And they kind of abandoned that a little bit more for gameplay and open world exploration in 4 and 5.
Yeah,
Obviously, Primal and Far Cry New Dawn. I mean,
They're like side
they're
games.
spin-offs.
Yeah.
I consider them as spin-offs, so I didn't really play them. I didn't really like the settings they were in. Like Far Cry 5 was fine. I didn't really care much about like the setting after the end of Far Cry 5, and I wasn't too fussed on the setting of Primal, so I kind of just skipped them. So I don't know what the characters are like there. I don't know what their approach was. Did you play them?
I played Primal, but not the New Dawn one. Primal was quite fun. It was a different approach to the Far Cry games. You were set in primal times, basically. There's mammoths everywhere. You were hunting.
That's the only thing that sounds pretty cool.
And you instead of having weapons, well, you had weapons, but instead of having like guns, you had to craft spears and bows and stuff like that. So it was it was really cool. It was a nice little twist on it. The gameplay aspect was, I think it was Far Cry 4 map, was it? I think they
it was. It was based on the Far Cry 4
that map, and
That's right.
it was just really fun. I thought it was a fun game. There wasn't really a villain on there, I don't believe. I think it was
Wasn't
more of a
Was it just like rival tribes?
Yeah, like a rival tribe. But I thought it was an interesting approach. You know, I
Yeah.
thought no game has gone that direction before. So I thought
No,
it's
that's
quite
true.
unique.
Yeah.
But I guess again we're going to see more of this tonight, and
I can't wait to see
we'll
it.
have loads. We're going to have so much to talk about next.
I know.
This
Jeez.
Ubisoft one. So I mean, did you want to say anything else about Far Cry, or again? I feel like we're gonna have a lot to talk about. Next week
I
about it.
think
That's
I
the
think
thing.
next week will be a good time to talk more about it. I think I've said my piece. I don't think there's any more information I can offer.
So on a similar sort of topic, then, is there anything that you would like to see tonight? Like, is there anything you would like to see from this Ubisoft conference? Besides, obviously, Far Cry and Assassin's Creed, because we know they're coming. Would you like?
What
I know I'm
else
putting you
have
on the
they-
spot a
what
little
else have they
bit.
yeah, I know. What else have they mentioned?
Maybe they. I feel. I don't know. See, because I'd like to see a new game.
Wasn't
I'd like
there
to see a new franchise.
Watch Dogs is Ubisoft, isn't it?
Ubisoft, yeah. Watch Dogs. I feel like they're going to show that tonight as well.
Yeah. I think Watch Dogs might be interesting. It's going to be the third game, isn't it? It's going to be the third installment of Watch Dogs, isn't
Yes.
it? I think second was... I preferred second game to the first game.
Yeah.
They expanded a lot on
think
that
everyone did,
specific
yeah.
gameplay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it looked a lot better. I remember watching the release trailer for the first game and how it
Yeah.
actually, graphic-wise, and how it looked compared to the actual game when it released. And it was
Yeah.
such a shift. Like, it looked
Yeah.
so downgraded. I remember everyone being so disappointed by that. So maybe I don't know. Maybe a Watch Dogs 3. That it sounds quite interesting. I
I'm
quite
trying
like
to
the
think.
idea of hacking. I don't know. You
Trying to
really
think
put me on the spot.
I
here,
know,
Chris.
because it's
What are
hard
you
to
doing
think of,
me?
like, it's hard to think of games that developers have done. Sometimes you see a game, you're like, Ubisoft did that?
Yeah. Well, what about you? Is there anything you're expecting or want to show?
Do you think they will maybe do something surrounding Rainbow Six Siege? Or maybe a new
Six
Rainbow
Siege.
Six? I
Oh,
don't
Rainbow
know.
S- yeah, Rainbow
Because they're by
6.
Ubisoft.
Uh,
Division is by... I'm looking at it now.
oh yeah,
Division
Division. Yeah,
is
because
Ubisoft.
yeah, that's true. What else have we got?
Watch Dogs, we said that. Mainly Far Cry, Assassin's Creed, and Rainbow Six and Tom Clancy games they do. So I don't know. Maybe it would be nice to see a new Rainbow Six.
A new Rainbow Six game would be good.
I don't
would
think we will,
love- no, I'm
They're
not sure.
they're putting too much work into Rainbow Six Siege because it's still got so.
They're
many
still
players.
going on with it. Yeah, they're still.
So I don't. It'd be
updating
stupid
it,
for them to just go. By the way, we got a new.
We're doing
one,
this
so
now."
swap
Yeah.
over. To, do you know what I mean? Because they're still, they're still releasing heroes or operators. I think.
Yeah,
it's
that's
called.
right. I mean, my favourite Rainbow Six game was Rainbow Six. I think it was Vegas.
Vegas
is
2.
amazing. Rainbow Six Vegas 2 was
Yeah.
was the best Rainbow Six game. I swear to God, the best one. If they remastered that'd be brilliant.
I do think we'll probably see something with a Tom Clancy game. I think they're the four things we'll see tonight. Watch Dogs, Assassin's Creed.
Wasn't there also Tom Clancy like Wildlands and was it
Exactly, Breakpoint.
was
yeah,
it? Yeah.
Breakpoint. Spot.
What did you play Breakpoint?
I didn't play any of them. No. I think the old Ghost Recon game I played was one on Xbox 360, and it was Ghosts. Was it called like?
Ghost.
Yeah, Ghost Recon. Oh, this is gonna do my head in. I'm gonna have to Ghost Recon games, right?
Oh, here we
Just
go.
like that. Bear with.
Yeah.
So, Ghost Recon games. Future Soldier.
I
That's
never
the game
played Future Soldier.
That was pretty cool. That was really cool. It was futuristic, and you were a future soldier.
Brilliant. You've summed it up.
Yeah, it was really cool. So I think we may. I mean, when did Breakpoint come out? Do you remember?
Wasn't that last year?
Is it only last year? We probably won't see anything from them then.
No, not for a while.
I mean, maybe a little teaser that they're working on a next gen Tom Clancy game. I don't know.
The thing I loved about Rainbow Six Vegas 2 was the fact that you could take a picture of your face and put it on your character.
Yeah, that's
so you
pretty
use
cool.
like the Xbox. I've forgotten what it's called.
Camera.
Use
Is it Connect? That's the one.
Kinect,
The
that's
camera,
it.
just Connect.
Yeah, just the camera. Yeah. So you take a picture of your face and then it puts it on your character, and it's just oh god, I remember the memories, just making ridiculous looking faces and playing with my mates. Good times.
So
Good old days. What's happened?
Before we go on to what we're playing, I just wanted to do a little fun one for like half the year that's been now.
Okay.
Talking about Game of the Year 2020 so far.
Game of the year?
Yeah, like we're midway through 2020. I know it's.
I mean, the thing is, I already know your answer.
I know it. It's.
I already know it's Last of Us 2.
Ah, is it though?
It's not.
So I know it's been a rough year and games have struggled to come out and release but there has been a few games. So for me, it's either The Last of Us Part 2, that's standard, or Final Fantasy VII Remake. That was amazing. You did
talk a lot about that game. Yeah, you did say you enjoyed it. It was
incredible. Yeah. Like, I was pleasantly surprised with that game. Obviously, there's more games to come. That's why I'm doing like a midway sort of break. So I feel like at the end of the year, we'll have a discussion as well.
Oh, yeah. So we're doing it halfway through the year.
Yeah. So in terms of I'm going to read out a couple of games for you.
Okay.
You would, which ones you'd probably choose.
Mm-hmm.
So Animal Crossing is a big one, right?
Okay.
Doom Eternal, The Last of Us Part 2,
mm-hmm.
Final Fantasy VII Remake,
okay,
Resident Evil 3 Remake, Ori and the Will of the Wisp. Now you played that.
That was pretty fun. It was just like a fun kind of cutesy Dark Souls.
Yeah. So that will pretty much so far will be the lineup for the Game of the Year. What do you reckon?
Oh. The thing is, it's hard because I think Last of Us 2 has to be one of the contenders for this half of the year. Even though I haven't played it myself, I've seen all the reviews, I've seen all the gameplay. It's just I don't think you could put that down.
No. The problem is there are some strong games coming out the second half of the year. You've got Cyberpunk, Halo, Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's going to be a strong lineup by the end of the year, and it will be interesting to see which one actually does take the first spot. I mean, Assassin's Creed as well. That could be a contender. I don't know. Possibly Avengers. There's a lot of games coming out.
I mean, I'm getting a bit more excited about Avengers the more info they release.
So, I need an answer. What do you reckon for the first part of the year? What's your game of the year so far?
Right, but you had a tie between two, didn't you? You didn't choose one, did you?
I'm gonna choose.
Need to choose one. It's not nice. Is it?
I'm gonna choose The Last of Us Part 2.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's like I mean, like a tiny bit. Like they're very close to each other.
Okay.
What about you? What do you reckon is yours? Come out.
That's hard because I don't have Animal Crossing or Last of Us. I think. Shit, you put me on the spot. What are you doing to me?
I know.
I guess it would have to be Last of Us. I think that's made the biggest impact.
It has, yeah.
Doom Eternal and Animal Crossing releasing, that was quite a bit of hype because they shared. If you remember the advertising for both of them, they shared the advertising. They put both of the characters into their trailers.
They're completely different games as well.
I know. I loved that. I thought that really stood out when they released. When was that? Was that like April, March?
It was a while. So that's your answer for so far. We'll go back to it at the end of the year. It would have
to be Last of Us.
We'll go back to it at the end of the year now and see what we say.
I can't wait for 6 months' time.
Cool. So I guess we're on to the next section now, which is what we're playing this week. Do you want to go ahead and kick us off?
Yeah, sure. So this week I've been looking at Jurassic World Evolution. It's basically it is a fun game. It's basically this city builder, but instead of a city, you're building a dinosaur park, and I just love dinosaurs, so I just thought, this sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, I love that game. Like I only started playing it, I think, start of this year or maybe the end of last year.
Yeah,
and it was a fantastic game. I love it. I love that sort of. What are they called? They're not RTS, but they are management games, world builders, city builders. I think
that's probably that sums it up.
And I mean, there was an old Jurassic Park game which was very similar.
There was an older one. Apparently, there's I think fans of the Jurassic World games. I think some of them prefer that one over the latest release.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why. I didn't play that one.
But I love playing it. I think it's really fun. It's a nice, relaxing game.
It is,
except for when a dinosaur escapes and you have to go hunt it down.
That gets a bit...
and kills all your guests.
Chaotic, yeah. Well, the thing is, the game encourages you to like, oh, why don't you build?
Yeah.
Why don't you make 5 velociraptors in this storm? I'm sure nothing will go wrong.
Nothing's gonna go wrong when a tornado's
promise.
there. Yeah.
Well, he's crossing his fingers. He's like, oh, I lied.
But
Then just releases all of them on your guests.
I mean, it's a fun game.
I mean, I'm not the most creative. I try my best. But it's hard because obviously you don't have. It's not too much of a sandbox where you can build anything you want. There is a progression and there is a certain design of the level you're on. So it's not just like a complete open world. It's all flat land. You could. I think there is a sandbox area, but I think you have to unlock it later on when you complete a few main missions.
Yeah. It's a fun game, really.
when you play it, what are the first dinosaurs you make? What are the ones you go to? If you had the option.
Oh, here you go. Now, what's your favorite dinosaur? This is the question.
Exactly.
My favorite dinosaur is the Carnotaurus, I believe it's called. You know, the one which looks like a T-Rex but it's got horns. Oh, okay. It was on the old film Dinosaurs. Made.
Yeah, they were the main bad guys, weren't they?
I love them.
Is that why you like them? Because
I love them. Yeah, and they're so aggressive in the game as well. I just love it.
Didn't they show up in one of the Jurassic Park films?
They showed up in one of the new ones, I believe.
Yeah.
So in the second one, but then a T-Rex just comes along and just stands.
Exactly. So why did you just choose a T-Rex?
Because it's boring. Everyone's favorite dinosaur is a T-Rex, and you got to go different. Everyone loves a T-Rex.
So you choose a weaker one.
What's your favourite?
I think Brachiosaurus, mate. Brachiosaurus. They're the tallest one. They just look cool. No one's going to challenge it. Cool.
Dinosaurs are weird, but a good weird. It's
a good weird.
It actually, they were here.
It's insane to think that they existed.
Yeah.
Well, obviously it was just a house. Obviously.
Oh yeah.
Dinosaurs never existed.
It's all a lie. Yeah, it was all a lie.
But the thing, obviously, I was just influenced by the first Jurassic Park film, and when I first saw. I watched it when I was a kid. I was like 6, I think. Yeah. And I saw it, and like the first dinosaur was this Brachiosaurus.
Yeah.
Like leaping up to like eat the leaves of this huge tree. I was like, oh my god, it looks amazing.
That's what I was like with the Carnotaurus. Like I watched that dinosaur film when I was a kid.
Yeah. Is it literally just called Dinosaur?
Yes, it's just called Disney Dinosaur because it's by Disney as well, and it's a live action one.
Yeah.
And I just remember seeing it. I was like, that dinosaur looks amazing. He looks awesome. And it used to scare me when I was a kid as well. And I used to have like a little, like sort of teddy of the dinosaur.
Really? You had
well.
like a
because
like
I loved it. So I used to love dinosaurs. I still do.
Such a weird thing to have.
Like I know, innit? So I mean, shows my aggression. As a,
I think it does. Yeah.
Like a Carnosaurus.
I mean, I enjoyed. I played this game. I think my first. When I was younger, you had that question of what do you want to be when you're older? Like everyone was just like astronauts, policemen, firemen. I said paleontologist.
Oh, I thought you were going to say I wanted to be a dinosaur, and I was.
I was quite impressed. I knew the word paleontologist, and knew how to spell it at the age of like 6. So I'm quite happy with that.
But yeah, I'm just to being a paleontologist.
I love dinosaurs. Sorry?
Are you any closer to being a paleontologist?
Definitely not.
No.
In my heart, maybe, but realistically, no, I'm nowhere near it.
I mean, if you do, can I just recommend one thing?
Go on.
Don't make a park and start cloning DNA because
there's
6 films. There's 6 films as to why you shouldn't do that.
Why you shouldn't? Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I thought it would be pretty obvious that we shouldn't do it.
Oh well.
Maybe if they only made like the what's it called? The vegetarians. Yeah. Well, you got the
herbivores.
Carnivores.
The vegetarians. No, we don't eat meat. Sorry, no, we don't have that.
They just complain if there's meat on the table.
Go vegan now. We probably have vegan.
Yeah, vegan dinosaurs. If they made a park full of herbivores, then there wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah,
because they can handle that. Then docile.
I haven't really played that much this week, to be fair. But I mean, the one I have been playing quite a lot.
One job.
I know, one job. The one I have been playing quite a lot this week is Yakuza 0. I've never played a Yakuza game in my life, right?
I've never
heard they're really good. So it's, they're Sega games, and a few people have recommended it to me, like, oh, Yakuza's amazing, and. So I was like, oh,
Is it an older game or?
It's quite an old series. I think they did a new one a couple of years ago, and they're obviously in the process of doing the Dragon one. I can't remember what the name of the new one is.
Okay.
But this one's really fun. It's a prequel, but I'm playing it as the first one because that's the order you should play it.
Okay.
But it was released as a prequel. But it's really fun. I mean, it has this wacky moments in it. So you think, oh, you're working for the Yakuza. He's a really, badass, sort of mobster, and he all of a sudden, like I'm probably about halfway through, and you go like in the first bit, you sort of beat loads of people up, and then you meet up with your friend, and you start doing karaoke at a bar. Okay, so it just goes. Do you know what I mean? Like it's fun. The characters are really cool, and I'm having really like a lot of fun with it at the moment.
I mean, what kind of gameplay is it exactly?
It kind of reminds me of a more arcadey version of Sleeping Dogs. Do you remember Sleeping Dogs?
Oh yeah, Sleeping
Dogs. Kind of like
Dogs.
GTA. It reminds me. Okay. It reminds me of an arcadey version of that.
Right. Okay.
But
is it quite a small game?
It's quite small. It's not. Well, it's probably because it's it's older, but it's it's open world-ish, I guess.
Okay.
You're gonna go shopping and do all this and do that. So it's kind of sandboxy probably is more right, correct term to use, but it's fun. I'm enjoying it. The characters, the story is really fun as well, and everyone says this is the best one apparently. Like,
so how many are there? Is it just
7?
There's 7. Okay.
So there's Yakuza 0, then Yakuza 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So
that makes sense.
Yeah, so there's 6 of them, and I hope to play through them all. To be honest, I just wanted a game to get me through until Ghost of Tsushima next week. I'm just waiting for that. Rubbing my hands together,
now.
Waiting for that. I am. So I'm so.
Are you going to get it straight away?
Oh yeah, I've pre-ordered that.
Have you? Okay.
So I'm just playing Yakuza to pass the time. Really, that's.
So you said it was an arcadey kind of version of GTA Sleeping Dogs or whatever. Does it look does it look the part?
It looks really good. Like I said, when you again, it is an old game, so you can't expect it to be up to current day standards.
Sure.
The graphics are really good though for a current for a game that was back then.
Well, when was it released?
I can't remember actually. I think it's hard to keep up with all these ones because they did a remake of 1 and 2, which was called Yakuza Kiwami, I think it was, and then there's Kiwami 2, which is basically remake, or remaster. So it's hard to keep up when they all sort of come out. But yeah, I mean, I'm having so much fun playing it. It's really fun, nice.
Great.
Little,
we didn't do our ratings out of 10.
Oh, it's hard to say because I haven't finished. But so far, I'd probably say 7. I'm enjoying it so far. What about you? What's your
we can't forget about the official Game Junkies rating.
I know, official, which you have to take seriously, and if you don't...
Exactly.
Then,
if you don't listen to us, then I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
We'll be able to get you.
Yeah, stupid.
I think I'd give it a solid 8.5. There we go. I think that's a good one. I think it's just because I got frustrated quite a lot by my incompetence, so it's probably my fault. But the game's really fun, so I'll give it an 8.5 out of 10.
Cool.
And that's the official Game Junkies rating.
I'm looking forward now to the next segment.
I'm ready for you to suffer.
Trivia one. Oh.
Basically, this segment of the podcast is the quotes round, the trivia round. It's where Chris and I, each week, come up with 5 quotes for the other person to guess which game it came from. It's my turn to get the quotes and get him to try and find out which game it came from. How are you feeling?
I'm looking in the mirror and psyching myself up, saying you can do this. I got some motivational songs on in the background. I'm ready for this.
What are you listening to? What motivational music?
Eye of the Tiger. That's probably the first one that everyone thinks of, right?
Surely this is not that intense.
Okay, let's do it. Come on, let's do
it. Okay, I have a feeling you'll get this. I have a feeling this will be a good week for you. Okay, so, number 1. No Russian.
Oh, that's Modern Warfare 2.
Excellent. Do you know who said it? 2.
Nikolai is his name? Nikorov. I can't remember his name.
I think that's the name. I think that sums it up. But yeah, he says it in that infamous mission where you are basically undercover.
Yeah.
Working with Makarov. Makarov's the guy.
I'm pretty sure that was the mission's name as well.
I think it was, yeah. And basically you just gunned down civilians in an airport.
Oh, that's brutal.
A mission like that would not be released these days.
Oh, no. I mean, they had to give an option to skip it. And
That's right, they did, yeah.
It is terrifying, that mission. It really is.
But yeah, I mean,
that's one.
Out was one of the missions. Yeah, that's one. You got one. So, right, here we go. Did I ever tell you the definition of insanity?
Oh, that's Far Cry 3, Vass.
Oh, I the problem is, I knew we were talking about Far Cry, so I had a feeling you get this one. So
that
was from Vass.
Oh,
so far, so good.
So far, go on.
Hey, listen.
Legend of Zelda.
Which one?
Oh, that could be any of...
Which one?
Ocarina of Time?
Say that again. So when the viewers...
Ocarina of Time? I can't remember it. So
Ocarina of Time, you mean?
Yeah, that's the one.
That is correct, Chris.
Whoa.
Oh, man.
100%.
I knew when I come up with these quotes, I should have thought with more I thought I came up last time. I thought they were more challenging ones. You never played it?
I've never played that game, but I
know
that
was just a guess.
I know the quote, yeah.
Damn.
I know. It's like that little wisp thing, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, that weird, really annoying voice that follows a Link around. Oh. I was being a bit nice this week, because I remember last time there was some...
That was the quote. I was like,
sorry.
What's that from?
So I just bringing my personal opinion into it. Okay. Are you a boy or a girl?
That's not fair. That could be any game.
That
could literally be any game at all. When you
are you a boy? Think about it.
That's not a specific code. This is.
Are you a boy or a girl?
I object. Well, Pokemon.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I object. That's not. No, that's not a specific.
That's a quote.
But that's not a quote.
That is a quote.
Yeah, but that's not a quote you look at. And
sorry,
go,
Professor Oak in the game says the words "Are you a boy or a girl?" Therefore, it's a quote, and it's a game quote. Therefore, it counts for the trivia round, and you got it. So why are you complaining?
It's just, I think, okay. Okay, 100%.
Right, next week, I'm not going to complain if I get an answer right. Okay, well, you're 4 out of 5. How are you feeling?
4 out of 5, one more. Come on, bring him the bacon. I gotta bring him the bacon now.
Okay. We need to think of like a reward system if you get 5 out of 5. Okay, are you ready?
Go on.
That wizard came from the moon.
Can I have a lifeline? Got a hint.
Ooh.
That's the first time I've asked for a hint. That's pretty cool, right?
You did. Oh, what would be?
If
I said the company name or the producer name or whatever
came from the moon,
then I think I would give that away.
No
I think I need to go as Vega's FPS.
What? What was it?
That wizard came from the moon.
A wizard came from the moon. I'm just gonna throw it out there and just say Borderlands.
No, Destiny.
Oh. Destiny. When
specifically
did they say
Destiny 1.
When's that?
Your ghost says it to you doing one of the first missions when you're on Earth.
I wouldn't have got that.
You got 4 out of 5.
4 for 5. I think.
That's the best. That's the best number so far, isn't it?
Fantastic. I'm happy with myself.
We've done 4 rounds and 4 out of 5 is the best. You've had the best results, I've noticed.
Really happy with that. Well, yeah, because I know everything about games. And,
well, not everything.
Everything I says,
so if you do everything, you get 5 out of 5 every time. So
good point. That is a fair point. Yeah.
Well, you better give me some good ones next.
I'm just a nerd. I think that's what it comes down to.
I'll sum you up. Yeah.
Who's the real winner or loser here?
I think I'm the winner here. If I'm honest.
Great. So I guess that wraps it up for this week. I feel like next week is going to be a really big one.
Yeah. Ubisoft is going to be a big talking point, isn't it?
Ghost of Tsushima as well.
Well, when's that releasing officially?
Friday.
It's a Friday.
Yeah, so...
Ooh, okay. Are there going to be any spoiler talks from you?
Not next week. Maybe the week after, or
I'd
maybe
love to hear
a couple of weeks down the line. But yeah, I guess thanks for listening this week, guys. We have a Patreon page if you want to support us. You don't have to, obviously, if you want to. It's Patreon/Game Junkies, and you find out more information. We basically have extra content. And also we're on Twitter, so you can go follow us if you want to keep tabs on us. I don't know why you would, but if you want to keep tabs on us,
you need to be positive.
If you want to keep tabs on us, but why would you want?
We are the most interesting podcast. Of course, they want to keep tabs on us.
Of course, yeah. So until next week, it's going to be a big one next week. So
I can't wait.
Have a good week, guys.
See you guys.